Sorry. Part of me was on mute. And I thought I checked it before I started. Okay. So for those of you on the live stream, don't worry, you just missed the introduction. What we're going to be discussing now is what is a qualified channel and what's a qualified wealth engineer. Because to earn as a DuePoint wealth engineer, we pay you based on 3 rules. We call them qualifying rules, right? So for every wealth engineer that we go through, we ask these 3 questions, and that defines how much we're paying you at the end of every single month. It is important to know this so that we don't create false expectation, right? I don't want you to ever go, oh, why didn't I earn this much, right? Because that's terrible for business. You need to know exactly what DuePoint owes you, right? And I promise you, we've got decent account systems in place. We've got auditors. We pay every person up to the cent what they should be paid, okay? So let's go through the qualifying rules. Number 1 is that to earn in this business, you have to be a qualified wealth engineer. So the first question we ask is, have you paid for your product? Are you an active wealth engineer at DuePoint? If the answer is yes, great. Then we're going to figure out how much we're going to pay. If the answer is no, we skip over you. You're not an active DuePoint wealth engineer, right? And so the second question is, are you a qualified wealth engineer? A qualified wealth engineer is someone who has got 3 active wealth engineers, product owners in their channel, who have paid for their product in the same month. There's no point having 2 in one month and 1 in the next month. We operate month to month. So everything that we look at is for that month. How much do we pay you for that month, right? And so the starting point, and we spoke about this, the 4 steps to starting as a wealth engineer, was to go find 3 people, right? So that you can become a qualified wealth engineer. So you can earn 55 Rand times 3. So the minimum we pay at DuePoint is actually 165 Rand. That's the starting point. No one earns 110 or 55 at DuePoint. It starts at 3 people. All right, so that's the second question. The third question we ask is, how big is your qualified channel? Right, so if you've got a channel beyond the 3 people, like for example there, now you've got one of your first pointers who's gone out and found another 3 people. Are we going to pay you for all 6 people in your channel? Right, that's the question we ask. How big is, and we define this as your qualified channel. Your qualified channel is defined by how many qualified wealth engineers you have on your first point. I'm going to say that again. Your qualified channel is defined by how many qualified wealth engineers you have on your first point. And in that example, you have 1. No, you have 1. How many qualified wealth engineers do you have? To be a qualified wealth engineer, you need 3. You need 3 people, right? So in this example, there's only 1 qualified wealth engineer on your first point. For every qualified wealth engineer you have, you open up a point in your business. So in this example, you've got product on 2 points, but we only pay you on 1 point. Why? Because to get paid on 2 points in your business, you need 2 qualified wealth engineers. You only have 1. All right? So how do we fix this? We find those 2 people. What's happening? Can I help? How's your week? Have you spoken to anyone? Have you fumbled over your words? Are you frustrated? What can I do to help you? Right? And there, lo and behold, you help one of your other wealth engineers become qualified so that they're earning. That opens up your second point. 2 qualified wealth engineers, 2 points. That is what your qualified channel is defined as, right? And look at this. Very irritatingly, your channel keeps growing. To the third point. Are you getting paid on your third point? No. What do you need to earn on your third point? A 3rd qualified wealth engineer. And so it says to you again, what do I do now? Go chat to my friend. Buddy, you've been in the business for 2 weeks. What's going on? You joined to earn. You're not going to earn unless you're qualified. I've been busy. It's accounts month end. Right? But you help them and they become qualified. Well done. Now you've got 3 points open in your business because you have 3 qualified wealth engineers. And so what these qualifying rules do for you is they distill our business down to 2 fundamentals. There are only 2 things you have to worry about as a DuePoint wealth engineer. You don't have to worry about anything else. You don't even have to go watch any other training. Well, you should. But these 2 things, if you can embrace these 2 things and become an expert at these two things, DuePoint will make you wealthy. And what are those two things? The first thing is go find new people all the time. You have to fill this first point up constantly. 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Like Philip, 107 in 7 months. Right? Keep filling that first point. We call it prospecting. You have to keep talking to people. And what's the second thing you have to do? In this example, what was the second thing you have to do once those people have joined? You've got to get them qualified, which in our language means you've got to help other people. You have to support them. You have to get them doing what you're doing. All you have to do is just show them. This is what I do. That's all you're doing. This is what I do. Can I help you? Can I help you? Your job is to get them to be independent. Just like parents for children. Your job is to get your child to become independent of you. Same thing for wealth engineers. Get your new wealth engineer to become independent of you so that they can carry on building because you've shown them what to do. And if you get those two things right, your first point will keep building, your channel will keep building, and you will get qualified wealth engineers that keep opening up your qualified channel. Simple, right? We can end it right now. You know everything. All right. Something that our client service has to deal with, so we put this in here, debit order dates. Like I said to you earlier, we run month to month. Month to month, every month. We look at the month, right? And sometimes we have people that join at the end of the month. So they set their debit order. So that's a good example. 21st, so someone will say, okay, I want to become a wealth engineer. I want to earn this month. Set my first debit order, because you've all gone through the application form. You know we ask you, when do you want your first debit order to go off and when do you want your regular debit order to go off? So some people, what happens is they go, okay, I want to pay now, and then I want my regular debit order to be on the 1st. So we're going to debit you on the, say, the 23rd of August, September, and we're going to debit you again on the 1st of October. Then they phone client service. Why did you debit me twice in a week? Right? Understand this. Understand this for your sake, because you are going to be helping people sign up to the business. Don't let them be confused. Why are you debiting me twice in a month? Because one is for September, one's for October. It makes you active for a single individual month. Right? You could put a debit order for the 31st of September and the 1st of October. You debited me twice in 2 days. You know the reason, right? Okay, so I'll run through this. There, 31st of January and 1st of February. They are for different months. So I can't see, if I think about it, I can't see why anyone would want to pay their first debit order on the 31st, unless they're signing in 3 people there and then on the same day, right? Or they want their investment to start in January, right? So understand the reasons behind that. You don't want people to get upset. All right, the Dewpoint app. So I hope everyone's aware that you have free Wi-Fi available to you in our office. I hope you've downloaded the app for yourself. Take your phone out now if you want to, so that you can follow me as we go through a couple of the app features, because you are going to be using this app every single day. All right? Do not be scared to play around in the app. As I said to someone, you can't set off a 10,000 Rand debit order by accident if you click on the wrong button. There's no risk in clicking on all the buttons and trying this and trying that. So go wild in the app. When you open up the app for the first time, once you've logged in, so you would have logged in with your wealth engineer number and your ID number as your password. Those would have been SMS to you when you joined the business. So the first screen you presented with is your notices. The notices are communication from head office that are very relevant and up to date. They are reminders of live presentations, training, encounters, everything we remind you of in notices. And you can share your notices. So if you ever want to share it with a prospect, you'll see at the bottom there's a share button. It allows you to share some of these messages, some of the live presentations with links to the live stream. If you want to close it, there's a little X button on each of the messages, or you just click back. Back will take you to the home screen. So in the home screen, you'll see your name in the top left corner. Can you see your name in the top left corner of the home screen? If you click on your name, it'll bring up your profile page. And if you want to earn 1,000 XP, you can quickly take a selfie of yourself. It'll allow you to earn 1,000 XP right now as a brand new wealth engineer. This is a nice trick to get new wealth engineers engaged into the system, right? They go, oh, I earned 1,000 XP. Straight away, all I did was take a selfie, right? Starts to get them motivated to start using the app and start engaging more with DuePoint. So you do it by taking a selfie, by clicking on your name, click on the camera icon, and you get 1,000 XP for doing that. Okay, at the bottom of your app, you will see that there are a number of tabs. We call them tabs right at the bottom. Channel, events, rewards, connect, and tools. Those are the main sections of the app. The default homepage is channel, but we're going to jump to connect because that is the button you're going to be using the most. Click connect at the bottom. It is going to bring up a screen like this. Connect allows you to do things, to do two things. One is to manage prospects, right? If you go to big business has got what we call client relation managers, CRM systems, right? It's basically a database of personal details and business details for everyone that we get to engage with. At DuePoint, because you're prospecting so much, you need a CRM tool on your phone. We call it the Prospect Manager, right? And so you are able to record all the information of every person that you speak to about DuePoint so that you can manage those prospects effectively going forward. So if you click on the prospect button over there, it'll launch you into the Prospect Manager. That's what the Prospect Manager looks like. If you've loaded prospects in the past, they will be listed here. And you've got two big buttons at the top, add a prospect or search prospect. So if you click add a prospect, it allows you to add a prospect. There are various fields that you get to record. Besides just name and surname and blah, 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 work details, family details, there are two very important components of managing prospects. And the one of them is needs. Needs. What is that person's need? Did I just blurt out DuePoint to anyone without understanding what their need was? Right? So there's this field called need. You need to fill in that. It's probably the most important field when you add a prospect, is to understand what DuePoint is helping that person solve. I don't come to every single person and just tell them DuePoint is going to help them with everything. Right? If I can understand what their need is, then they become way more interested in DuePoint, and at the same time, they start to understand that, you've got my interests at heart, not your own 55 Rand that you're chasing, right? Understand the need. How do we understand the need? We ask questions. Ask questions, right, before we tell people about DuePoint. If you click on search prospects, it just allows you to go through your hundreds of prospects, right? So if you search in whatever, I think I typed in Shania Twain, so I know Shania Twain personally. There you go, there's Shania. You get some brief details and a photo with a name, married, 53 years old with one child. If I click on her, her profile comes up. I've got a status that I recorded, she's interested. I've got her contact details, don't email her please. Family, she's divorced with one child, remarried by the way, met through her ex-husband Rob, not me, another Rob, and needs, looking for a business opportunity for her daughter, right? So that's what the profile page looks like when we start managing our prospects. If you click on this blue button in the bottom right corner, that is a shortcut button. It opens up a whole bunch of menu options for you. You can retake a selfie of your prospect. You can add them as a favorite. You can record, so you can give yourself XP for having showed them the intro presentation. So if I've taken Shania or her daughter to see an intro presentation, I just click on that button and it gives me, I think, 500 or 1,000 XP every time I show someone an intro presentation, right? I can call her directly from the app and then I can edit any of these details. So that's an intro into the Prospect Manager. You need to be using the Prospect Manager every day. Prospecting is the lifeblood to this business. If you're not prospecting, you're not doing anything for yourself, right? And so we go through this Prospect Manager just so that you understand that this is something that you have to become au fait with. Okay. Training, all the development seminars are available through your app. If you click on the last tab at the bottom called Tools, you will see all the training comes up. That blue bar at the top is just a menu that allows you to sort the training into categories. But all the training is available there. It's also available on our YouTube channel. Go watch that. You also get awarded XP for watching every single training video. So that helps you get to the different ranks in our XP Rewards program. All right, where to find your product. So you would have taken out a product to become a wealth engineer. To find information on your product, just click on the menu button. See those three lines below your name? That's what we call a burger menu. Click on that menu. and then all your products will come out. So if you've got 3 products, you will see all 3 products listed there. And if you click on any of them, the investment will show you your investment balance. It'll show you the investment mandate. The insurance policies will be listed there with the policy wording and the policy schedule. All of that stuff is listed there. Beneficiaries, dependents on the various products are listed there. So that's where you find all your product info. And then let's go back there. So that's your home page. I'm going to quickly go through your home page. As a brand new person, you'll see just zeros everywhere. I hope that you're going to change that quickly, right? At least to 3. So if you look at your channel's broken down every single month. So it's a monthly view that you get. Every single month is broken down into successful debit orders. That's the blue numbers there. Those are successful debit orders that have happened in your qualified channel. We've got pending debit orders, right? Because debit orders run from the first of the month to the last of the month. So if you're in the middle of the month, you'll have maybe half your debit orders have gone through. The other half we're still waiting to do. So you'll have a whole big number under pending. And then if there are any failed debit orders, they appear in red over there. Those are the failed ones, right? That's part of business. Don't slit your wrists over failed debit orders. It is part of business. You have to be able to weather and stomach and endure failed debit orders. This is business, right? All right. And then that BPQ number is just a ratio of successful debit orders against failed debit orders. So if you've got anything above 75%, it's okay. The higher, the better, obviously, right? And you can, but that ratio only considers your first and second point. It's only your first and second point that is considering, because that's where you have control over who you're bringing into the business, right? If that number starts to drop below 75%, know that you are wasting more than 25% of your time every month. Okay, so be aware of that. And we've got wealth engineers that get to 100, close to 100% in their businesses. Okay, so it's certainly something you can strive for. And then these 2 numbers at the bottom are just applications. So it's new wealth engineers that have joined. It's got nothing to do with debit orders. This is just people who have completed the wealth engineer application form. And those are people that have left your channel. So they've either cancelled as wealth engineers or they've lapsed. Lapsed is a nice word for we kicked them out because they never pay. All right? So be aware of those 2 numbers. And then you are going to be, so this is looking at your whole qualified channel, but you're probably going to be more focused on your first point. So if you click on the drop-down menu, you will see point 1. Click on point 1, and then it'll just show you point 1. Who paid, who still has to pay, who failed their payments. You this person, my sister didn't pay, what's going on with you? Oh, I'm broke. Right? Be aware of what's happening on your first point, because that's where you are directly responsible. Okay. So as I said, play around. We've got the events tabs at the bottom. You'll see there's events and events. We've got all the upcoming events. So understand DuePoint's schedule. Know when DuePoint's doing live presentations. Right? Tuesday evening, Thursday evening, Wednesday lunchtime, Friday lunchtime, Saturday morning. Every single week, the whole year, until the end of the year. Right? Be aware of that. Then the training that comes up once a month. Tell All Tuesday, when we invite wealth engineers up onto stage to tell their story. That happens once a month. Be aware of the schedule, because you need to marry that into your own calendar, because this is business now. Okay. And you can watch these from your phone too. So if you click on watch, it's going to launch YouTube and you can watch the live stuff happening. Slow versus fast. So this is really about expectation. I told you about the Achiever Quest. Our business is built around slow. Don't know if that shocks anyone. I'm not here to build slow. Our business is built around slow. Entrepreneurship is a slow process, right? Lotto is a quick process, but you've got a 1 in 10 million chance of winning Lotto. Yeah, at DuePoint, we all have equal opportunity to make their channel building successful. And it is built on a slow process. It is built on long-term process. We don't look at this month or next month or even a 1 year. We look at what you're doing over a 3-year period, over a 5-year period, right? But we have an Achiever Quest, which is very fast. And so in your first month, if you really knock it out the park, your first month could be 16,500 Rand. It's the 15,000 Rand plus the 30 people that you're earning off of, which is another 1,650 Rand. So it's 16,500 Rand you could do in month 1 at DuePoint, right? but this is not sustainable income. Right? You don't get the 16,500 by default next month when you don't do anything. But you will get the 1,650 Rand next month, even if you don't do anything, right? That's why I say DuePoint is built with longevity in mind. This is short-term income. So if you come to me and you say, Rob, I can't wait for a channel to build. Well, if you need money this month, if you're desperate, do the Achiever Quest. Go find a lot of people, right? Work your butt off if you have to this month, because there is a reward waiting for you. But this is once-off stuff, whereas DuePoint returns are recurring income. Achiever Quest is not recurring income. Do you understand? Understanding expectation in our business is very important. We are always fighting against the people who come in with short-term mindsets. Why? Because when they hit any little disappointment, they quit. We don't want quitters in the business. Right? We want people to see the vision of what DuePoint has in mind for all of us. Sustainable wealth. That's what we're trying to build. So if you keep looking at your feet, you keep worried about this month, you're not looking up. When you hit your toe, you're going to quit and say, this is not working for me. Because you fail to recognize what DuePoint is trying to do for you in the long term. Whenever you have a bigger long-term goal, you fight through all those tough periods. You will have tough periods. It's not plain sailing at DuePoint. This is business, real business, right? You're going to speak to 10 people in a row who all tell you no. What are you going to do then? Cry and quit? No, because why? Because you focused on getting to the 85,000 Rand in 5 years' time. You're not focused on the month end. All right. You have to address this with the people that you bring into your business. This is not training for you. This is training for you to pass on to the people in your channel, right? Because if you can get your channel, all your first pointers to see the vision of what the business can do for them, they will stick around. All right? That's the purpose of dealing with expectation in the business. So what to do? Just a reminder to cover when you go out and start prospecting, you're just connecting people to DuePoint. I said earlier in the intro presentation, we're not trying to convince anyone to join. They have to convince themselves that this is the business they want to join. It's not your job to do it, right? You're just connecting people to DuePoint, and you're most certainly not selling. You're not talking about product. They will ask you about product. You say, I'm not here to talk about product. That guy in the presentation will tell you about the product. I want to tell you that there is an awesome opportunity. Our products are wonderful, but the benefit of the business far outweighs the benefit of our products. Understand that, right? People too easily get fixated on the product. Oh, but the product. I want to ask 100 questions about the product. The business can make you 10,000 times more than what the product can make you, right? Take that to heart. Understand that the business opportunity far outweighs the benefit, and we've got great products, but it still far outweighs what you can do with the product. Always talk wealth. The business is about opportunity. It's about hope. It's about dignity. It's about giving someone the ability to focus on something that actually gives them some hope, right? Where, as I said earlier, we feel very much out of control in our current economy. I don't know when I'm going to get retrenched. I don't know if I have job security. I can't even think about retirement. I'm just trying to hold on to a job. You want me to start planning retirement and investing money? Right? We're trying to answer those issues in our economy. Use the tools. So you have to become engaged in everything that is DuePoint. You can show it off to everybody because other businesses don't have what we have. So you can say, this is the business I want to show you. Show them Facebook, show them YouTube, show them the app on the different app platforms. Show them our podcast platforms. It lends credibility to our business offering. They go, jeepers, this looks like a serious business. Right? Show them the application. Go through all the tabs. Show the business off and use it yourself and then get started now. So this is a big one for me. This is not me trying to push you to make a decision without you feeling comfortable. I was hoping that in the presentation that we did earlier this morning, that you got excited by the prospect of what DuePoint was offering you. Right? The one lady said, sounds too good to be true. Some people get nervous by that emotion. I'm one of those people. I don't like that feeling. Right? I step away when I start feeling like that. Oh, they're trying to get me into something. Right? Sometimes happens at church. when the worship gets a bit too crazy. I need to step out. The reason why we say get started now, because people only make big decisions when they are in what we call a peak state. Do you realize that? If you're in your comfort zone, if you are in a state where you are no longer excited, you don't make big decisions. You will not change your circumstance. You will go back to what you were doing yesterday, what you were doing last month, last year. If you want to change your future, you have to have the courage to make that change. And it only happens when you're excited. So if you come out the intro presentation and you're excited, that's when you have to make it. And that's why we've designed the opportunity to have very little risk. Because as I said, I don't want you to have fear when you make that decision. Right? And so you need to push people to get started as soon as possible while they're still excited. Because if they go home, they want to talk to their spouse, and a week goes past, I can guarantee you now they will not do anything. So there's no harm in you pushing them at the beginning, right? Because if you don't, you'll lose them anyway. Okay. Plug into DuePoint. So that's all the tools that we spoke about. Become an expert at the app. Watch all the training properly. You can watch the training over and over and over again. There will be things that you pick up every single time. Marry DuePoint's calendar into your own. We've mentioned that. Get merchandise. This is the little investment you need to make into your business, is get merchandise. Whether it takes you a couple of months to save up for business cards, you need to make a plan. Right? The notepads are 25 Rand, so those are surely affordable. A notepad and a pen, and you already look a little more professional than arriving with nothing. Business cards, 20% off. Online store, we've just got shirts manufactured, so the shirts are available for everybody. You can go see the sample in the cupboard. And as I said, if you order online, we can courier them to anywhere in the country. Cape Town Encounter. This is an awesome opportunity because Brendan's going to Cape Town. He will do all the work for you. He will do all the work for you, right? And so there's an awesome opportunity, especially if you're not in the Western Cape, is to just try to get people there. What do you have to lose? It doesn't cost you a cent. So what do you have to lose, right? We want people to start really pushing themselves to building channels in every province in South Africa. It spreads your risk. If you've got money coming in from every single province, that's 9 different provinces where channels are growing. You don't just get people to join and then it just stays like that. When you get people to join, there are people coming behind them and behind them. You start to grow something in that province. And so we only go to these, and we do these encounters in these different areas once a year. It is your opportunity in 2019, and 2019 only, to do this. You will have to wait another 12 months before we go back to Cape Town, right? So take advantage. Go register on our website, and then all these social media platforms. We're extremely busy on Facebook, and if you're someone who sits in traffic, plug into the podcasts. I think we're on 9 or 13 or something ridiculous, different podcast platforms, right? So I don't care what phone you have, there should be some podcast platform that we support. And it's for free. Spotify comes up with adverts, but you can download Anchor. Anchor is a free podcast platform. I love podcasts because I sit in traffic and then I just listen to podcasts. YouTube channel, everything's on YouTube channel. We've got about 600 videos on YouTube. Most of them are intro presentations, but all the training is there. And most importantly, a lot of the testimony stuff is there. So over the last 3.5 years, all those people we've invited up onto stage every single month, their testimonies are all in there. And they're great because they are like you. And you need to get to speak to these people and hear from them. And they tell you what they've gone through and what DuePoint's done. And they don't gloss over it, right? Because this is business. They will tell you about the frustration of this business. But my question to each one of those people, always at the end of it, is are you going to carry on doing it? Is it worth it? Because that's a judgment call you make every single day in this business. Is this still worth it? And for them, it always was. Still worth it. All right, any questions? No one has asked any questions. Yes, ma'am.
If I take I'm now with her.
Yes.
Okay. My policy lapse. You deduct that money from me at the end. You know, when you work for Sanlam, for instance, and
With regards to commission?
yes.
No. We don't have any of those issues.
So, jy hoef nie te worry
Nee. You won't ever get a bill from Dewpoint. Yeah, so the question was, typically in financial sales, brokers earn commission, right? And they load their commission up front. So if I go get someone to buy a life policy that they're going to pay for the next 30 years, I get a lot of commission up front. If that person cancels their life insurance, the insurer comes back to me and says, we want that commission back. I've already spent it. I don't know how people deal with that stuff, but no, we don't do any of that. No.
How does that affect?
What?
SARS.
SARS. So I love this question, because people somehow think that earning income at Dewpoint is free of SARS. If you know any business that is free of SARS, you come tell me. I want to know. Yeah. So any money that you make, I'm not going to say Dewpoint returns. I'm going to tell you right now. Any money you make, any money, whether you got a spaza shop, whether you are renting out a kaya in the back of your house, it doesn't matter what you are doing. Any money that you earn has to be declared to SARS. The only thing that you don't have to declare to SARS is a tax-free investment, which is part of Access Wealth, right? And even then, the investment bank still declares to SARS, this is a tax-free investment, so they're not going to pay tax on the proceeds from that investment. All right.
And how do you show them? Is it just your...
So you get a statement every single month on your app, and in the dashboard, you will see you get a statement of your returns. You can use that to quantify what you have to declare to SARS. Any other questions? I'm looking at each one of you. No question about qualifying rules? Those qualifying rules you're going to forget, by the way. You've already forgotten the qualifying rules, right? That's why we've got a nice little video called How Do I Qualify? 5 minutes. Go watch it 10 times. Do you know that there's a little trick? I found this out in school. Have you ever read a sentence and you don't understand what they were telling you in that sentence? That happened to me a lot in physics. And then someone said to me, do you know that if you read something 13 times, you will figure it out before you get to the 13th time you read it? I was like, oh, whatever. And it works. It works. It's the weirdest trick in the world, right? But whoever does anything 13 times, you always give up at number 3. I don't understand. Go watch that video, How Do I Qualify? 13 times, right? Because you need to explain it to other people. Because the worst thing for you that can happen is that you get a person joining your business, you fail to tell them the qualifying rules, they connect 2 people, they're excited, I'm earning 110 Rand. Do they earn 110 Rand? No, they don't. They say, Dewpoint caught me, you caught me. Scammers. It's a scheme, isn't it? They didn't pay me. Do they keep that information to themselves? No, they go tell your whole channel. Don't join Dewpoint, those people steal money. That's why it's so important for you to tell every single person that joins a business how they earn, right? Or just bring them to a launch workshop and I'll do the work for you. Any other questions? Ma'am?
Okay.
I don't know if the Springboks are going to win. Was that your question? No, okay.
As an Dewpoint engineer, today I got a person and then okay, let's say the person that I assigned
Yeah.
her policy lapsed. Then I tried to find out, and then after I found out it's lapsed, I called the office to reinstate it. And then
You can't reinstate it. They have to reinstate it. You can't reinstate a policy on behalf of somebody else. So if they lapsed, right, they would have got the SMS, lapsed, you've got 15 days to fix it, right? We give everyone 15 days grace to fix it. They call in and they say, I want to reinstate. Client service will say to them, when do you want us to redebit? They say, tomorrow. Right, as long as it's before 10 in the morning, we can do it for tomorrow. And then we'll reinstate it. If the debit order goes off successfully, happy days. You get your 55 Rand.
all right. My question now is I've got these 2 that I signed this month, and then they're going to be debited, let's say on the 30th,
Yeah.
plus this one. So which means I will qualify for that first stage.
Okay, so we work month to month. If you get 3 people this week that join your business, 2 set their debit orders for the 31st. The third one sets their debit order for the 1st. Are you going to be qualified for September? No. But next month, when their debit orders all go off successfully again, then you will be qualified. So what does that tell you you've got to do this week? Get another person. Easy, right? Right? Yes, by the 30th. There's no 31st.
Building your business, qualifying, get it before your debit order goes off. You can start connecting people now.
Yeah, of course. You've still got 9 days left of the month.
Before your first debit order goes off.
Yeah, so remember the 3 qualifying rules, right? Have you paid? Have you got 3 people that have paid? How many qualified wealth engineers do you have, right? So let's say you join. You join today. You set your debit order for the end of October, your first debit order. This month you go and find 10 people, right, who all set their debit orders for this month. Am I going to earn for September? No. Am I going to earn for October? Yes. Does that answer your question? Thank you, guys. Last one, ma'am.
It's my first day today here, and then I join, and then after maybe 3 debit orders, I realized that what I joined is not what I actually
Chose.
yes.
The product you chose.
Yes.
Yeah, you wanted to change it.
I want to change it.
Yes.
Is it possible?
Yes.
All right.
You can change your product anytime. Take Access Wealth, then maybe I want to do Wealth Points. You can change it. You can take an extra product. Doesn't matter. As long as you've got a paid product for that month, you are active. Okay. All right, guys. He called me Boka. Except you. Good luck, people.